who had ended up spending the night in jail because once he was outside, he started arguing with the officers and acted like an eye hole to them. They also said I needed to replace his girlfriend's dress that got wine-stained during the wedding, which turned out to be the dress she was planning to wear at their own future wedding. We ended up in an argument and I brought up every time they were in his favor, but they didn't see my point of view. I told them how they'd always favored my brother since we were kids. Every Christmas, it was obvious he was the favorite because he got most of the gifts while I got less. Whenever he messed up, I was blamed, since I was the older brother and supposed to set the example. This pattern continued into our teen years. I always had to include him in everything I did, which made it feel like I couldn't have my own life. He was always there. In that conversation, I realized I couldn't do this anymore, and I told them to keep me out of the current mess with my brother. I said they can go F off if they expected me to bail out my brother after he ruined my wedding. The other end on the line fell silent. They said they were coming back to the US that instant and hung up. They came back from their trip that day and immediately bailed out my brother themselves. I found myself in the kitchen, getting breakfast ready for Amanda. I was still thinking about the call with my parents, but I pushed it aside to focus on making this morning special for her. When I walked into the bedroom with the tray, I saw Amanda sitting up with puffy eyes from crying the night before. I set the tray down and joined her on the bed, telling her about the call with my parents. She listened. I could see she was still hurt from our ruined wedding night. I told her that we wouldn't let them ruin today too. I placed the tray on her lap, showing her favorite breakfast: pancakes, strawberries, and whipped cream. Her eyes lit up, and she smiled at me. As she started eating, I told her exactly what I knew would cheer her up: a shopping trip to her favorite stores. Amanda shook her head and said she'd love that. She was eyeing a new pair of shoes since the last time we left the mall, and I was going to get them for her. We spent the morning enjoying breakfast in bed. Later, we went out to Amanda's favorite shops. While Amanda was in the dressing room, I got a call from my brother. He was clearly drunk and started bragging. He told me our parents promised him a lot of money and valuable family property, making sure he'd get the family inheritance, not me. I asked him what he was talking about, and he said that the reason why I was jealous of him was because our parents would make sure he was set for life, and nothing that I could do would change that. He told me about hundreds of thousands of dollars in the trust that Dad made for us, but it only had his name on it, and the will. He said he saw Dad's will, and that they wouldn't be leaving me a dime. The call ended suddenly, and just as I was about to call back, Amanda came out of the dressing room. She asked if the dress made her look fat. I looked at her and saw how beautiful she looked, the dress fitting her perfectly. I smiled at her, and I told her she looked stunning. I asked her, did she want that one, and was she ready to go? I really wanted to go home at this point. She said we could get out of there, and we did. As we were driving home, Amanda seemed happier, and this made me content.